Pulp MX Network production.
Welcome to the Troy Lee Designs and Racetech Suspension and Engines Blair Matthes Project.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Troy Lee Designs Racetech Blair Matthes Project. Blair Witch Project, pretty scary movie. This is also a pretty scary show/podcast. Thanks to Troy Lee Designs and Racetech for coming on board, as well as our other partners, which we'll tell you about in a little bit. But the Troy Lee Designs guy, you know Troy Lee. Since 1981, he's been doing really cool shit in the industry. When you think of cool, you think of Troy Lee. And we are stoked to be partnered up with him. Visit TroyLeeDesigns.com to check out the full range of helmets, gear, mountain bike protection, mountain bike clothing, all of that. Troy Lee Designs got you covered with high-quality stuff in and out of the dirt track, racetrack, go-kart track, mountain bike trail, and all of that. Email us using the contact form on Pulp MX, and we will get you a code to save with Troy Lee Designs. It's the best part of the whole deal. You can save with them. Just send us an email. The code changes weekly, so hence the email to us. I had some guy say that he does not want to email me for the code. He just wants us to say it on the show. But if I say it on the show, it's already going to be out of date. All right? So whenever your email comes in, that depends on what code I give you people. Racetech, racetech.com. Thank you to Racetech guys, privateer proven. And they work with a lot of privateers over the years. They do motor work. They do suspension work. Get your bike dialed in for the spring riding. It's April 9th as we do this. So, yeah, get your bike working right for this summer's race series or practice series. Tell them you listen to Pulp MX. They'll give you a deal, racetech.com. And also thank you to the folks at Zool's Bags, Seat Concepts, Firepower, Maxxis, Decal Works, ASV Levers, Alpine Stars, Maxxis, all on board with us. I'm Steve Matthes, producing the show, some guy named Kellen, the fraud Brower, and then my partner, Daniel Blair. What's up, DB? How are you?
I'm doing good. Shout out to Max Shane. Steve, that's an amateur kid. You're going to need to know his name. He won 4 championships at the Cal Classic. He is a Troy Lee Designs athlete. So there you go. 4 titles at the Cal Classic. That's a lot of gate drops, and he's one of the faster B kids in the country. And, he was one of my Orange Brigade riders. Actually, he was the last rider I signed before I left. Rides for Husqvarna, but he's a TLD kid, looking good every week. So shout out to Max Shane.
And I think when I was at Paula last week getting ready for my regional, there was a kid on an 80 with Troy Lee gear that blew by me on an 80. I was on a 450, in case you're wondering. And, so not great for the ego. But anyways, thanks for watching and listening. Appreciate it. We got the fantasy update as well coming in, where once again I prove that I know amateur motocross maybe better than anybody on the planet. Listen, Daniel, I don't know what we can take from Foxborough. Just a massive mutter. Dudes rolling around. Our guy AP won. That's awesome. He was on the Pulp Show Monday. He's going to be on Dale Jr.'s pod. He strongly hinted he re-signed with KTM. So all of that's awesome. McElrath second. Good for Shane. Coop put on a great ride. I'll just leave you with this. Our guy, MX Reference, on Pulp MX, since from 95 to 2024, the points leader in 450 Supercross after 12 rounds has won 27 out of 30 times. Reed didn't win twice, and then Tomac when he blew out his Achilles. So that really doesn't even count. So basically 2 riders in 29 years have not won the title after 12 rounds. Cooper Webb made up points again. So, yeah, man. Great work, Coop. He really, really went balls out on that last lap.
And that could have been a little bit of a flip. Obviously, when the championship rivals are battling, it's more than 2 points or 3. It's always 6 or 4. It's a double up because you're not only not losing, but you're gaining points. So for Cooper to pull that off in the last lap was incredible. But it wasn't just Sexton that he passed. That was the most psychotic last lap of all time. And for him to just decide at the very end of that thing, I'm just not going to care. I'm just going to let whatever happens happen. That's pretty incredible. And he's so weirdly smart, too. He may have done the math in his head and said, well, you know what? If I crash, maybe I lose one more spot because we've already lapped up. Who knows? But he probably had some math figured out in his head where he said it's worth the risk because he's not a risk taker. But he took incredible risks on that last lap. And then with that attitude and with that looseness, sometimes the mud, helps with that. He just had the most incredible last lap of all time. Didn't he gain like a minute or something on Chase?
The last couple of laps was over a minute. The last lap was it was the fastest one by far for him. And yeah, man, I mean, look, it's far from over. Again, going back to Tomac, blowing the Achilles out, anything can happen. But holy smokes, I think Coop really stamped it this weekend because we just can't, you just can't see Chase staying perfect, which is what he's going to need to do for 5 rounds. Chase will be good at Salt Lake. Chase will be good at Denver. But, it's got to be perfect, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah, he's going to actually have to go San Fran 2024 this weekend and win again in the mud. I mean, you never know with weather. Maybe it shifts, but it looks like we're going to get it again. And to be honest with you, Cooper was kind of off up until the very end. So if you're Sexton right now, you're going to need this weekend to not only win, but maybe put him in third, fourth. He honestly has to win. You can't go and get third and he gets fourth and get 2 points. The game has to be straight wins from here on out. So he may need to call AP and find out what was working there for Aaron and then replicate. But he was good in San Fran last year, so I don't doubt Chase's ability to get it done this weekend. But now he's in the situation where he absolutely has to. He's not going to be able to make up the ground anymore by beating him by 1 or 2 spots unless it's wins. So, yeah, Chase, I feel like last weekend was another missed opportunity. This is the big one, though, for him, because if he wins this one, he can find his way back to single digits and then control his own destiny. That's what he has to do. Get it within range to control his own destiny. One more loss, and then Coop could just sit behind him the rest of the year, and Coop seems to be smart enough to be able to pull off whatever he wants. So no pressure, Chase, but you have to win this weekend. Like, have to.
And we're going for a day race. Next 2 races are day races. We're calling for weather again. I'm not a big, hey, it's Wednesday and here's the weather on Saturday guy because the things change so much. But it does look like we're going to get some rain this weekend. A day race, again, like I mentioned, Showdown as well in Philly. So things could get nutty again. But no matter what, like as nutty as they were in 250s, first-time podiums for Cullen Park and Gage Linville, the 450 class basically stayed the same outside of Shane McElrath. The best guys were the best guys.
Yeah, and Shane was really awesome, and he's got some mud history. But, we talked about this a few weeks ago. This run in the Northeast was going to be difficult for a lot of reasons, and it has been raining a lot. I mean, I know we're going to get into club life. I've been out here this week and last week. We got some weather, too, so it's not just a Northeast thing. Everyone's getting smoked by weather right now. And we are open roof from here on out. So this probably isn't the last one either. That's the crazy part. It's not like we get through this one and then we're good. We're open all the way through, and Denver and Salt Lake have had them. Denver snowed one year. It snowed in practice. So we may be in for the wildest final 5-6 races ever based on the fact that this has been a wet year. And we're open. So, man,
yep.
it could change a lot of ways. But you're right, 450s, there is a lot more stability because these guys are all experienced in the mud. So you're not going to see a big variation. But 250 Showdown, which I know we're going to get into, that could flip upside down like it did last week. Tom Vial gets last. Are you kidding me? So I think 250 class is where we're really going to be probably focused on the weather because that class is – you got Cullen Park and Gage Linville on the podium. I mean, remember, was it what was the guy's name? Jake Marsack?
Jacob Marsack. He's a Jacob Marsack Award winner. Yeah.
Did he Daytona podium in the mud or something? Remember?
He got 3rd in Daytona.
So that was big class, though. But I guess what I'm saying is the 250 class is probably going to be an absolute just chaos from here on the way out if we have weather, where 450 is going to be harder to pull big swings for
It's
Chase.
pretty incredible going to 250s that RJ had the race he had where he just went full RJ. And then Hammaker, and they got closer to the point standings. That thing is tight. Cullen Park's even not that far back, as we talked about on Monday night. But let's bring our fraud producer, Kellen Brower, in here for a second because, Kellen, you were there. What the hell happened to Tom Vial? Like, he was 4th with 2 laps to go. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Kellen, but he's French, and he rode the GPs for a long time where they have a lot of mudders. What the hell happened?
He just had a small fall. Like, it was a very small fall. And it turned into a big problem. He just kind of slid down the backside of this little, the second roller in the long rhythm section before the finish. And when he picked it up, he decided to do this, big rainbow turn to get momentum. And then so he ended up going backwards in the track, and when he tried to spin it back around, he tipped over again, and I think he got a ton of mud locked up in the front wheel. So then he picked the bike up sideways and went across that lane and the other rhythm lane to get all the way to the plywood, and that's where all these like photos and some of the videos of him just holding the bike wide open and it's spinning around come from, because he's trying to get the front wheel to move, but it won't. So he's just literally pinned up against a jump wide open, and it won't go anywhere. But that was actually the last time I looked at him. I genuinely did not know he finished the race until I saw another video of him throwing his bike over the finish line jump, because I thought, well, he just DNF'd.
And so after the race, he refused interviews, from what I hear?
I did. I went up to him and I said, would you like to talk? And he's like, no. And then LeBig also, who normally obviously does interviews with him in French, was actually a little bit bummed post-race, because like he and Vial have always spoken, and even on bad days, Vial speaks, but this was a very, very bad Vial day.
Very bad day.
Yeah.
You can't.
And
LeBig
Steve, he could be gone in the points.
Yeah.
He could be gone, because Hammaker and RJ, obviously Hammaker got RJ'd in the first corner. But he could be 20 up right now.
Yeah, listen, I don't think he wins this thing now. I just don't. And the turning point was
his turns.
Boston. Yeah, the turning point was his turns, because holy shit, like just like I said, 4th place, no problem, bring it on home, looking good, and then that's massive. So all right, Daniel, worst mutter that you've ever been in, professional, amateur, anything. Like what's the worst one for you?
Well, the one that stands out, which it stands out because it was bad, was Anaheim 1, 2005. That was the big one, right? The with all the titans of the sport all on the line together, probably one of the coolest starting gates of all time. And it was terrible. I did so bad in my heat race that I actually kind of couldn't/didn't go to the line for the LCQ because of a combination of a few things, and I still thought I was going to get paid. And I remember this one because 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks, 4 weeks goes by, and I never got paid for that one from the AMA, and I was like, what the heck? And I ended up calling, and they're like, you never showed up for the gate for the LCQ, and I don't know why I didn't know the rules, I guess, all the way, but I didn't get paid for that one for the night show money, and that was a bummer because I trashed my bike. And if all I had to do was go to the line for the LCQ and just take off from it, I would have been fine, but I, again, didn't/combo make it to the gate, and no pay. So that would be the one, Steve, because it was really, really bad, and also it hurt my feelings because, that night show money was big back then. I needed that, and I didn't get it, and I trashed my bike. It was just a net negative, super net negative.
So there was and I'm trying to pull it up, and I can't figure it out right now, but maybe Kellen remembers. So 05 LCQ, like you said, Anaheim 1. You're listed as whatever, 16th, didn't show up. JT 17th, and I think there's another media guy 18th, or somebody like Kiefer. I think it's Kiefer. I think you, JT, and Kiefer are all like
in that
LCQ, or like 16, 17, 18 or something, and we were laughing about it because we're like, look at these three guys. Nothing tells you that these three should get another job than these results right here. Whatever it was really funny.
Yeah, that was the one, though, and what a cool night that was, though, right? Just going into that season, that was going to be the one with everybody on the gate. And
I forgot, JT told me that they did no qualifiers during the day. They just drew numbers out of a hat. So I guess, Daniel, you got a number drawn out to race.
And I think that's what it was definitely different than other ones. There was a complication in how they did it, but I just remember thinking that, thought I was going to get paid the $2,000 or whatever it was to make the night show, and I was like, why is this not coming? And finally, I called down there, and they were like, you never showed up for the gate, and I'm like, oh, sweet, didn't know that rule existed. This weekend.
You're like, my bad.
Yeah,
here I'm gonna.
Yeah, but I was on a YZ 252 stroke at that time. I was riding a 250F in the east, and a 252 stroke in the west, and I had a rough go, man. I'm not a mud guy. I'm terrible in it, and
okay. So here, I just pulled it up.
So luckily, by drawing names,
I just pulled it up. Kiefer got 18th. He raced, and then JT was 3 laps down, and then you were DNS, like you said. Justin Keeney and Clark Stiles also chose to not race that LCQ.
Yeah, they didn't get paid either.
Yeah, and then factory rider Tim Ferry, who I was working for, got 8th. And we watched that main from the stands.
Oh, in the LCQ?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was Ernie, Gibson, Nick, Way, and Olaf made it. Yeah.
So you and I both watched the main from the stands.
Yeah. The worst one for me, early 90s Manitoba circuit, just that clay gumbo. Like if you want to know what kind of mud we had, you can talk to any of the guys that race some of the Manitoba races and up in the Canadian Nationals. It's the same kind of mud. The track wasn't far from the track that the Canadian guys had an all-time mudder at. And it was so bad that there was a road next to the track, and we would just, every lap, you would get on the road and do speed runs up and down to clear your tires and then jump back on the track. And the whole class was doing it. We all did it. We're just like, I don't know who started it, but that was the worst mudder. And then you would make it the whole lap, jump back on the road, clear your bike of mud, jump back onto the motocross track. It was like early 90s Manitoba. Unbelievable.
How about the Canadian Arena Cross mudder? Remember when they brought all that dirt in? It was ice, and then it thawed out, and it was an indoor Arena Cross full swamp mudder.
Yeah, unbelievable.
British Columbia. There was something up there. Was Newf racing maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly which way that one went, but yeah,
Crazy.
not good. By the way, thank you to the folks at Maxxis Tires. Fast Freddie Noren didn't make the main event, but you know who did with his Maxxis Tires? Logan Lights Out Lightsel. 9th place. He's a sim guy too, so he's one of Kellen's guys because I think he plays the video games. Boop, 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 boop. And so Lightsel got 9th on his Maxxis tires. Good job. Shout out to Logan. Lights Out Lightsel. They got scoop tires, so maybe that's what he was using from Maxxis. McGrath developed the MXSTs, and they got soft intermediate to hard terrain tires. If you haven't thought about Maxxis for a while for a high-end moto tire, well, think about them now. Maxxis.com. I want to thank the folks at Firepower as well. Chains, batteries, loading ramps. Daniel knows all about that. They got great stands as well. Firepowerparts.com, a subsidy of WPS. But, man, they got a lot of great parts, hard parts, great prices as well. You know, just brake pads and chains and lightweight, featherlight lithium batteries, all sorts of things going on at firepowerparts.com. Alpine Stars Protect as well. Thank you to Alpine Stars. You know them for the boots, obviously, but they also make the A1 chest protector, the A1 plasma that goes underneath. They have elbow guards. They got the full outer shells as well with shoulder protection on them, knee guards, knee cups, all that stuff. Alpine Stars protects, neck braces as well. So check out Alpine Stars. They make much more than boots, as you people probably should know. Okay, so Daniel, we talked about the mudder. We may see one this weekend. We do see a showdown this weekend, and this is huge. This is big. It's the second last one, of course, the last one being at Salt Lake. I don't know, like, part of me can see Davies just taking this thing, just going off what he did. He finally unlocked it. He's got the confidence. There's nothing harder than that first win, and then they kind of roll together after that if you become elite guys. But then again, you know, we have the East Coast guys coming off a race last weekend, as much as you want to call that thing a race, and Hammaker and RJ, you know, Vial, they're still in this thing, and we're Deegs and Davies, Juju, who's not a great mud rut guy. Like, the West is sort of settled, so maybe there's less urgency. I don't know. DB, how do you see this?
Well, if it was dry, I would probably go Davies, because his win in Seattle didn't come from some kind of, you know, weird circumstance, or he wasn't all sending all over the place and it just happened to come together. I mean, it was so buttoned up and put together that you're right. I think once you get one, you just start feeling like, let's go, and you kind of go on a roll, especially the 250s. I think 450s, there's so many good guys, it doesn't really work that way all the way, because guys can recover so fast. But in 250s, once you get one, your brain changes. You just start thinking, oh, I got you all now, and that confidence really does give a lift. So dry, I would go Davies, but I would say Deegan is probably the most dangerous to me. He's actually a really good mud rider. I think back to his rookie season, I believe, wasn't Salt Lake a mudder his rookie year, and he was really good. He won his heat race of the East guys, and I think it was mud. I think he beat up on him.
It was I don't know if it wasn't Foxborough mud, but it was definitely
it was slimy, sloppy, whatever. But I just think he is the most complete rider in the class still. East West, put them all together. I think he's still the best guy. So. And I think he's also kind of one of those rebound guys. When things aren't going right, he likes to rebound. And let's be honest, Seattle was not good for him. It wasn't good. He fell a couple times, had the drama with Juju. I mean, yes, he extended his points lead, whatever, but that was not a great race for him. So I could see him bouncing back. He's probably my pick to be the favorite. But again, it's crazy mud. I mean, Hymas is only, 7 points down now? I mean, that dude did a lot of off-road racing in his final year. Well, I think all the way through amateurs, but in his final years of racing B and A amateur, he was racing a lot of off-road type stuff. which tells me he's pretty rangy with his talents and skill. And what if he goes and wins another one? What if it is a swamper again and he wins? And now that 7-point gap, I mean, we could be looking at a Hymas points lead, really.
You got to settle down, okay? I'm not.
No, I don't do that. I run off of what happened last Saturday. I roll with it. That's just how I am.
I think you're putting too much into last Saturday. I don't think we're going to see that again. We may see some weather, and again, after I just finished telling you I'm not a weather on Wednesday, here's what's going to happen Saturday guy, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that bad. So I don't think I'd go that way. Deegs, listen, I'm going to beat this drum until the drum is beaten. Deegs makes mistakes in Supercross. And I think he lets his emotions get a hold of him. And I think he's going to want to crush these dudes because it's a showdown, and therefore will make a mistake and won't crush the dudes. Now, he's good enough to still end up on the box. But, man, I don't know. I could see this thing really getting tight with the East guys, with the Hammaker and with RJ and with VL.
Well, it's already tight. That's the thing is it's 3 points.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant the race, the race itself.
The race.
The main event getting tight with those guys. Yeah, like all three of those guys. Say three of those guys being the top 5.
Well, look at where they all were last week. Like, the odds of all of them being outside of the top 10 is not going to happen again. Like, you're right. They'll all probably be back. Vial will probably be good again. And let's just say it's not a complete Foxborough and it's just more of your typical mutter where they're jumping around, whatever. Then we probably have a pretty cool race. And the timing for a showdown, I think, is really good because if we were going to watch 2 mud races back-to-back, because remember, this is San Fran, San Diego kind of thing. We had that last year. We had 2 in a row, but one of them was better than the other. So maybe this one's better. It would be a little kind of like, I don't want to see the same guys in the mud again. But now that the West guys are coming in, right off of the Juju Deegan stuff from Seattle, off of a Davies win, Shimoda's coming around getting better, Marchbanks is actually really good in the mud. You put all them in there, and this actually is going to be one of the more intriguing races of the year if the weather holds off enough so they can race, because they did not really race in Foxborough.
No.
They didn't race. They survived. But I don't mind mud if they're racing. So maybe that's what we get. Maybe we get San Diego 2024 and get to see a really cool showdown with a lot of things on the line, like points and a lot of implications on this one. And again, swings happen in the 250 class, and I could see it happen again. So to me, it's good timing for a showdown. Hopefully it's just a raceable version of what we had last week, because that wasn't a race. It's
appropriate to bring Kellen in here because I'm going to yell at you, Daniel, and also Kellen as well. I had Volin in PulpMX Fantasy, and we did a great job winning the heat race. And I seem to think that Max has been good in the slop before. Taller, can get around. I don't know why I think of Volin as being a good mud rider. Crushed that heat race. And then, like, seriously, the dude gets stuck. He's 6'2". He weighs 80 pounds. He gets stuck in the mud, I guess Kellen said, and then he unlapped himself 2 laps down. I don't know who to yell at first, whether it's you, Daniel. The handbrake, when he was winning the heat race, I got a text from an industry insider saying, handbrake is bullshit, we're going to protest. I was happy about the handbrake in the mud. Don't ask me why. I was just thinking, well, it's not going to get jammed with mud, for one. So we got that. So I'll let whichever one of you two want to defend the travesty that is Max Volin's race in Foxborough go first.
You want me to take it? Okay.
You go first.
I mean, he basically had kind of the same thing that Vial had happened to him. He just actually got unstuck. So I don't know. Like, yes, I agree that he's, a giraffe, but I don't think that that's, the worst thing ever, because a lot of guys got stuck. I mean, Cheyenne Harmon, who's also rather tall, got stuck like 3 times.
Okay, yeah, but
in the
Max,
heat race. And
Max
then, like,
Volin's a better rider than Cheyenne Harmon, sir.
That's fine, but I'm just saying guys got stuck. Like, it just is a happen
Tom
chance.
Vial got last, okay? Tom Vial got last place.
Yeah.
There's some things going on out there, Steve.
You don't.
It really just.
He crushed the heat race. Crushed it.
Yes, but I love Max, but that comes down to a good start. And he said that in the heat race, he turned his brain off, went on instinct, and it was fine. And then he tried to do the exact same thing in the main event and spun on the grate.
Yeah,
and so then he got a horrible start and then was eating mud and going through tear-offs and then got stuck. So
yeah, thanks, Max.
It happens.
Thanks, Max. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you.
All right, I'll go next. That kid has ridden probably 1,000 hours out at Prairie City. That's where Hangtown is. They have a little track on the side. It's like a beginner track, and I have watched that kid do mud motos upon mud motos on that growing up. So for a NorCal kid, because California kids don't necessarily crush mud, that one does. And that heat race looked a lot like that because the track was still kind of okay. I mean, he was jumping around and stuff. The main was different, Steve. So if it would have been the exact same track, then I could be a little bit more understanding. But that main event was more survival, where the heat race was a raceable track. And he did win by about 1 million miles, and it was awesome, obviously, for the club guys to get that win too. Just that's back-to-back weeks getting a heat race win. But the main, it would have been nice to have a better main, but that track was way different in the main.
Wow, just a whole bunch of Max Volan apologists on here. We should just call this pod, "Here's why Max Volan didn't win." Unbelievable. Okay,
I'm down with that. Hey, who's in charge of the show titles? Is that you, Kellen?
Yeah, I might put that as the show.
Yeah,
title.
go ahead.
Yep,
Go ahead. That guy owes me. He owes me.
Hold up. Listen, we'll get to fantasy because I didn't get the best hand there either. My futures kid was fastest in qualifying, Steve. So and that didn't work out so great for me. So we'll get to that because you got some too.
Daniel Blair's wearing the ASV shirt. ASV Inventions, innovating motocross components for 25 years, made in Southern California. A pioneer in innovation, starting with the original ASV folding unbreakable lever. They are constantly expanding their product line with innovative new components. Pulpamex, all caps, 20% off. They're tested and used by top AMA pro racers and teams in Supercross and motocross. And they back every high-quality American-made part with industry's best customer service and warranty. American-made, so that means no tariffs for Bob and the ASV guys. And I'm running the front brake lever right now, the Pro front brake lever. So it's really skinny, and I really like it on the Blue Crew. So thanks to the guys at ASV for all that they do. And Seat Concepts as well, riding the world since way back in the day. And they got the Race 2.0 to the Comfort Series. The proprietary foam and handcrafted seat shapes are made in the USA and put you and your ass in a better place no matter what the element is. Pulp 25 saves you 15% with Seat Concepts. Factory Beta, Benny Bloss using his Seat Concept seat to get a season best 7th. I think that's a career best 7th for Benny in Supercross also. Phoenix Racing using Seat Concepts, Ampro, Yamaha, SLR, Honda, and more. And like I said, complete seats, covers, bases, foams, all of it. SeatConcepts.com, Pulp 25 to save with those guys. And, of course, Troy Lee Designs. Thank you, Troy Lee. And email us using a contact form on Pulp. We'll get you a code to save with Troy Lee Designs. Bam Bam Barsha, 5th place with his Troy Lee gear. And he had a hell of a race. I wasn't there, but I'm thinking Barsha between the heat and the main crashed 3 or 4 times, maybe over 5, and just kept picking guys off because that's what he does. Bam, all heart, all gas, then boom, then get up, all gas, boom, get up, all gas, boom. TroyLeeDesigns.com.
He was aggressive all night. He did not take the memo on just put your legs out and roll. He was on the limiter, I think, the whole night, which is why he was making those passes, but it's also why the crashes happened.
Imagine how much energy Bam used compared to AP. Like, their heart rates are probably so different from those main events. Because AP was cruising.
50 apart. Yeah, he that was probably the most fun he's ever had in his life. I think he was laughing around the whole track just like, this is so fun. And Barsha was in, like, kill mode the entire time. And you're right. I bet it was a 50, whatever the beats per whatever.
Yeah, beats per minute, sir.
Yeah, 50. BPM. They're probably about 50 apart.
Yeah. And also Race Tech, Troy Lee Designs, Race Tech, Blair Matthes Project. Thank you to those guys. All right, let's move on. Daniel Blair here with me. Jason Anderson. Now, he left Seattle, family emergency, left after track walk, jetted out of there. Hopefully everything turned out okay with that. And then, boom, we get a PR saying he's out with health issues, and he's not coming back to motocross. I've kind of done some digging. I heard one thing about a thyroid from somebody. Other than that, it's been all quiet. I think there might be more to this story. We'll find out. Maybe it's a mental health break as well for Jason. He rides at club. I'm sure he's been gone, Daniel, and no sign of him around there. And I do know he's talking to some teams for next year. That makes me think that maybe, his heart wasn't into it. He was a little bummed out that he wasn't coming back. And maybe he needed a bit of a break. And then also maybe he does actually have some health stuff going on. I mean, all of these guys at this point in the Supercross season have some health stuff going on. Or I'm speculating on all of that, and perhaps it's 100% a health issue, and he'll be back in motocross, and he'll re-sign with Cowie, and everything's fine. But I'm thinking that's not exactly true from things that I'm digging around. So I don't know. The whole thing's a little bit, I don't know, man. And I hope the best for him. I hope we'll see him on the gate at motocross. But part of me, Daniel, thinks that if he's not on the gate at Paula, I'm not going to be that surprised.
Yeah, I saw the press release come out, and the announcement was made for the rest of Supercross. I think we all got that too. So it was like kind of two things in a row, right? First it was out, and then it was that. I don't know anything. I know that the internet probably would assume that I do, but I don't, because my responsibilities once I got on site at Club have been unbelievably wide open in a bunch of other areas and not that. So I do know that obviously he's here. This is where he's not here, but this is where he's been for a while now training, and the conversations with him regarding his training or the future were happening before I got here. So I kind of left it alone. All I did was send him a text. You know, I wouldn't call him a friend of mine, but like a strong acquaintance. I've known him forever. Like we have a relationship going way, way back. And I just sent him a nice text and said, hey, whatever's going on, man, thinking about you. We hope you're all good. And left it at that. And I'm kind of just waiting on the other end to find out when it's time to find out, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know anything other than what I've seen in those press releases. And I haven't even heard what you just said. That's news to me. I haven't really had my ear to the ground on anything outside of my responsibilities here. And again, he hasn't been here. So I don't know, but I'm with you. I mean, to say Supercross and then back in motocross, that makes sense. You're like, okay, there's got to get something right. But if there is more to it, then motocross you would think is off the table too. So I guess we'll find out probably that week of Paul, because we're not going to hear much. I don't think it's going to be.
And I mean, look,
so.
And it could exactly be what they say, and it could be a health issue. But I know people around that team, and there's been no talk of having any health issues, Jason having any health issues until it happened, you know? And so everybody kind of kept it really quiet, at least people that I talked to and know. So I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy guy, Daniel. You are a little bit more than I am for sure. You know, and there are other people I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I do think there might be more to this than what we're hearing. And we'll see, but you know, maybe not. So, hey, I thought of a couple fun things to do here on the Blair Matthes project. Let's rank the riders on a couple of teams. And this is hilarious because before we hit record, I had forgotten some of the riders that rode for these teams. So that's awesome.
So did I. I was like, wait a minute. Is he? Yep.
Let's go 20, like your team manager, and you were in that spot, 2026 and beyond, pro circuit, rank the guys that you would sign. Like in the order that they're on there right now, put them in order for results in 2026. Pro circuit, Monster Energy Kawasaki.
So we're doing it that way because before we went on, we were kind of trying to figure out, like, are we ranking where they are right now?
Well, no, we're ranking them
in their future, what we would do
2026 and the future. Not just 2026, but 2026 going forward from there.
Okay, I'm going to make one little change then, since that is the way we're going to go about it. So Kitchen is number one for me still.
Yep. I have him one too. Yep.
Okay. He's elite, and this year, I mean, he's been forgotten about because he was gone pretty quick, but he is an A-lister elite 250 rider, and I think will be a great 450 rider too. He screams 450 guy to me. Hammaker obviously now is number two, and I don't know if I would have had him there early in the season because there was just so much mystery around his resume too. You know, we've been talking about Nate Thrasher and his mystery resume. Hammaker's kind of had one of those too. But now what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and knowing about just where he's at and how things are going with his relationship with the Lawrences, he has found some serious foundation there. And so he's now the clear number two to me.
Yeah, I am too. I have him too as well. Yep, he's two for me.
Okay. This might be where we go in a different direction, and it's because you don't pay attention to amateurs and I do, but I would actually go Drew Adams 3 because we are talking about the future, and I'll get to McAdoo, Marchbanks, and Masterpool, but I think Drew Adams has a really high ceiling, and we haven't been able to see that, obviously. There's going to be some Cole Davies, Drew Adams comparison because Drew did beat Cole last year at 3 of the Futures rounds, and Cole won the other 2. I do say, and I'll be just honest about it, I do think that Cole is better than Drew. But I also think that he's got a pretty high ceiling too, and if we're looking towards the future, he's actually the clear number 3 for me, but I'm thinking you probably have a different one.
I got him 3 too. Absolutely. Okay. So far, we are simpatico. We're great minds, think alike. Okay. I'm sure the fraud has him ranked differently, but we are so far, we're perfect. Yep.
You're sure of it?
Oh, yeah. No, he doesn't know what's going on. So.
Oh, man. Kellen? Are we off on our 1, 2, 3?
I was waiting for you guys to keep going, but no, I was with you all the way. That's my exact same top three too.
Next for me would be McAdoo. Are we?
Yep.
Are we there?
I have Drew ahead of him because old Cam can't stay healthy. And I have Hammaker ahead of McAdoo because I like what Hammaker did where he went to the Lawrences and changed his program up. So I'm with you. McAdoo has gotten better results than Marchbanks indoors and out. I don't know what McAdoo's
Out is a little iffy
Yeah,
there.
out could be close.
But in gets the nod,
Yeah.
for sure, because
Yep.
it gets the nod. That's just
Yep.
how the sport works. So,
Yeah, so then I
Marchbanks 5?
I would go Marchbanks 5 and then Masterpool 6. Yeah, absolutely.
And that sucks too, because Masterpool outdoors might be number 1. To be honest, he might be their number 1. Kitchen, of course, too, but Masterpool outdoors is unbelievable. But indoors rules the day, and there hasn't been any of it in a little bit that hasn't been anything. So it's crazy to put him down there knowing that we are looking at a full body of work. There's a full calendar. There's actually more outdoors than indoors for 250 guys. But with indoors being such a priority, I mean, I can't – he's not getting second at Seattle like Marchbanks did. And he's not winning races like McAdoo does. So for me, that's why he's my 6.
Yeah, Ty has a big summer ahead of him, man. Like Mitch took a bit of a risk. It's blown up in his face in Supercross. I think there's things off the track that Mitch is not super stoked about with Ty. Kind of waiting on him to get back from this thing. And if he doesn't perform outdoors, it's not going to be good. He needs to perform outdoors, and I think he probably will. He's that good. So, Kellen, what's the rest of yours? The same as ours?
Yeah, pretty much. The only change I would personally do is put Masterpool in front of Marchbanks simply because of all the stuff that he can do outdoors. I think as a complete package.
Like when?
I think as a complete package, yes, Marchbanks will give you more indoors, but he hasn't given me enough indoors to put him above what Masterpool delivers for the team outdoors, which I think, as you said, borderline maybe their top guy outdoors. So I would just put him ahead of Marchbanks, but I was with you guys all the way otherwise.
Okay. All right. So the next one should be really fun because there's 14 of them. Star Racing Yamaha. Let's go, DB. How do you rank them? I mean, Deegs is first. All three of us would have Deegs, I would think. Please tell me you have Deegs.
I do, but I'm just making a change. I will tell you right now that I am taking Dax Bennick off the list. I'm not even going to mention him.
What? Why?
Because it's too personal to me.
Well, you have to. He's on the team. You have to rank him. That you can't take him off the list.
He's off my list. Just
Kellen.
We'll move forward with that. There's no rules on here. I don't have to put him on there. I'm taking him off the list. I'm not talking about him.
I mean, but I kind of agree with Steve here. Just like at least give him a ranking. You don't maybe have to give him all the fluff, but just put him in line.
He's my number 1.
Oh my god, dude! Wow.
All right. No. All right. I'm going Deegan, number 1. Obviously, full body of work. He's the best 250 rider in the sport. Period. The indoor stuff, like you saying, Steve, is. I mean, he's got some goofy stuff here and there, but he's going to probably win the title, and then he's going to probably win outdoors, and he's going to be a 450. I mean, he's a phenom among phenoms. So he's an easy one. I'll go Davies too. And I know it's like early and we haven't seen him on outdoor yet, but I'm sorry. He's 17 and we've seen enough. So any disagreement there? I got Cole Davies number 2.
No, Davies 2. I think even the fraud would have him too.
Yeah?
Yes, I have him too.
Okay. 3, Max Anstey.
Nope.
No? Okay. I mean, I do because I do think the indoor title could have been his this year. I think next year he's a favorite again. I don't know what he does on the summer side of the outdoor or the 250 program, but he's so freaking well-rounded, and he's just a solid all-around vet, and I trust him. I'd go into 2026 with full trust in Max Anstey, and I don't really question much with him. I
would go Pierce Brown. Now, I know it's a bad injury. I'm hearing 100% recovery. Pierce is younger. Look, it was one damn race, but he did look like he had gotten to a new level. I think Max's outdoor stuff last year when he jumped on Star, I know Lewis the fraud, Phillips, also a fraud, has a lot of excuses for Max's outdoors finishes last year, but it wasn't that good on Star. And so I think Pierce is an ascending talent. He's a lot younger than Max, so I would put Brown ahead of Anstey. Kellen? No, we got no sound.
Uh-oh.
We can't hear you.
Sorry, I would put Anstey ahead of Brown still.
Okay, well, that's bullshit. Sure.
I think maybe we need to see it outdoors, but I mean, you even go back to the excuse me, go back to the opening round of Supercross, and Anstey was catching him when Brown went down. So even indoors, I would. What? You think that's wrong?
He was catching him, yes, but okay, all right. He's going to be a year older. He's going to be 32 next year. You know, I don't. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay, but of the two injuries right now, I would say Brown's coming off of a bigger one, and so yes, age factors into it, but I think that Max will get back to himself faster. So I would put him 3 just based on indoors. They seem to already have the upper hand on Brown, and then he's a GP winner outdoors. Like at his best, he should be right up at the front with these guys.
All right, so Dax or Thrasher, DB next, or Brown? Would you go Brown after Anstey?
No, I have Brown a couple more spots down. I'll get to that.
Oh wow, Pierce Brown slander.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
It's not slander. I got something for you. I would actually go Dax next, and it's because of the ceiling. And I know results-wise he hasn't gotten what the other guys have gotten, but I explained either last week or 2 weeks ago, his indoor and outdoor ceiling is extremely high, and he's still super young. So moving into the future, I'm a believer. Again, I'm close to it, so it's obviously that's going to play a role in my call here. So I would actually go Dax as my number 4.
So you'd go Bennick and Brown.
No, I have 2 more before Brown.
Wow, Jesus! I hope Pierce Brown's mom, father, or Pierce himself does not watch this.
Well, here's why. Do I need to go to my next one? Because my next one's going to absolutely shock you all, and you probably have not the insight that I have on this one. But Caden Dudney, their amateur kid, he's unbelievable, like unbelievable. Last year at Loretta Lynn's, he was actually 14, maybe turning 15 during the race. Broke the track record and won 5 of 6 motos in the B class, which is unheard of. Nobody's ever done that. He's the most credentialed, highest profiled rider as an AMA 14 in the history of Loretta Lynn's, period. And he does it like you wouldn't believe. And that's pure outdoor. Now at Supercross, he's going to have to learn it. But I'm just telling you right now, that kid is on another level outdoors. Like when he turns pro, he will. I mean, he's the type that would come in and pull a Tomac type performance in his very first one. He's that psycho good. So. Again, you're asking me about the future.
Yeah.
And the reason why I have him in front of Thrasher and Brown, which I have side by side, they're the same person to me. They really remind me of the same person, is I don't really feel like there's much more ceiling than what we've seen from them. They're both extremely fast, but they're extremely inconsistent, and I just don't know if I would go into the future thinking championship. I don't know if they could get it, where Dudney, I could see multiples. I still think Bennick is going to get championship, especially indoors, and I think Anstey can win a championship, where with Thrasher and Brown, they're like cousins to me. They're like the same person, incredibly good, incredibly off, and incredibly weird, and I don't feel like I would get a title out of either one.
All right, so
that's why I have them down, and I'm looking for titles. So.
Kellen, does anything he say about Dudney, is that register or true, or is it just Daniel being Daniel?
No, it's accurate. He's very, very good outdoors. How insane.
How does a kid nowadays in 2025 be so much better outdoors than in? You know?
Here's why. There's a reason why.
Okay.
Last year, when all those kids went into futures and put heavy emphasis on futures, he didn't. He was a Team Green kid. They told him no. They kept him out of it for a year, and he went to Kevin Windham's for a long period of time. And when he was really, really wild before that. It was a mess. He was highs, lows all over. They tightened up Kevin, tightened him up. And when he left there, he came out last year at Loretta's and was on another level. And then at the Combines, too, he had crazy speed. He was still a little messy there. But I'm telling you that this kid will translate into motocross like you wouldn't believe. And then the Supercross stuff will come around because what he's missing is time, not talent. So again, he is a A-plus level prospect.
I mean, Thrasher. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say I agree with that. The only thing that I would counter with on that is that while I do agree the Supercross skills will come around, I think that it's going to be longer than it should, just based on the fact that watching him already in futures, his timing looks off. He looks very rigid and stuff like that. So
it's raw. It's raw.
And as you said, he's missing time, not talent. Well, now he's missing time at the races because he got hurt. So.
He's also 15 still, though. That's the thing.
I'm just saying,
like, kid, so
these guys, you know, you take one step at a time indoors, and if you miss a step because you're hurt, and then you have to come back in with that same age group that you were racing, and they've already taken that step, and you have to go that speed again. Like, he's got to settle in with those guys sooner rather than later, even at a young age, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. But if he started Supercross a year from now, that would be normal compared to what everyone else did before.
Yes.
So he's still way, 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 way early on that. But on outdoors, I've never seen anyone that age ever ride a 250 like that.
Kellen, would you put
unreal.
Dudney ahead of Brown and Thrasher like this guy did?
No, for me personally, I still put all the amateur kids behind the current crop of pro guys, just because I don't feel like I've seen enough of them yet. Like, even Davies coming into this year, I probably would have still put behind all of them because of what I had seen in the past. And obviously he's blown our wig back, and I think that those guys can absolutely do it as well. But right now, I don't think I've seen enough yet to determine, oh yeah, definitely Caden Dudney's going to be better than Nate Thrasher or whatever. So.
Yeah. I'm with. I don't know these kids that well, obviously, but I would put Dax Bennick, Thrasher, Brown all ahead of these kids, and then there's some Manier kid and a Wood kid.
Yeah, well, Manier was my KTM.
Yeah, he was your
KTM.
Yeah, that's the guy we made fun of you for losing him, right?
Yeah, I lost that one too. But no, he outdoors is really, really good. Indoors is still a project, but a project that's I think is going to work. The only issue with him right now, he had an injury, so it set him back time-wise too. But he's back. He just got back to the U.S., I think, maybe today or yesterday. So, and again, I do have him behind Brown, Thrasher, and them because I haven't seen enough. Where Dudney, again, my eyeballs have seen what they've seen, and it's unreal. And then Carson Wood would be last of the amateurs because he's just young. He just got on a 250. I don't even know yet what he's going to be, but he's really good too. And then I have Mosman last.
Oh, Mosman. I forgot about Mosman.
Yep.
Even during the show?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he could win a Supercross. Like, he could win Denver. You know what I mean? Like, he could win Denver. He's that good, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Mosman's last too. Sure, I guess. I don't know. I think Mosman's last of the. I'll still go with the Manier and the other kids after Mosman, but Brown and Thrasher would be ahead of Mosman for me, indoors and out. When you look at both,
do you agree with me that Brown and Thrasher there's some similarities there with a lot of potential and speed, but a lot of also undelivers?
Well, no, I don't totally, because Thrasher just can't race outdoors. Like, he just can't stay healthy. He just misses them. At least Brown's lining up. I think the last 2 years, Brown has made most of the nationals.
A lot of Supercross too. He missed a lot of that. To me, again, they're not brothers; they're cousins. All right, they're similar to me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, stay tuned next week when we rank Phoenix Honda riders. And
I got eyes on them all the time.
Yeah,
I got eyes on.
Again, thank you to the Decal Works for coming on board this. PulpMex25 is the code to save at Decal Works. Daniel Blair, big Decal Works guy, Red Bull KTM, Decal Works. They'll make you custom graphics. They'll do all of that. DecalMX.com. Those guys are awesome, and a great place for stickers and graphics and all of that. And also thank you to the folks at Zool's Bags. We have baseball bags. We got motocross bags. We got laptop bags. We have carry-ons and all of that at Zool'sBagCo.com. Zach Osborne, Trey Kennard, Carrie Hart, Travis Pastrana, all retired, but all still using Zool's bags. They partner with Triumph and Phoenix Racing for the modern stuff. They've got you covered: roller travel bags, gear bags, backpacks, and more. And bags, all things bags, Zool'sBagCo.com, Z-U-L-Z, bagco, C-O.com. And Pulp25 code saves you with Zool's. Thank you to them. Seat Concepts, Firepower, Maxxis, ASV Levers, Alpine Stars, Decal Works, Troy Lee Designs, and Race Tech. Thank you for the support on this show. Email us using a contact form on Pulp to get a Troy Lee Designs discount code. Appreciate that. And Race Tech as well. Tell me listen to Pulp MX or this show, and Race Tech will give you a discount. They got authorized Race Tech service centers all across America as well. Daniel, so the news broke last week on this show about your job at Club MX. You kind of, I don't want to, say this in a negative way, but you really just rambled about all the things that you're going to do. It sounded like you were going to do pretty much everything, stock in the cafeteria and everything else. So now that you've been there, though, and we saw your social, we saw video of Phil on your social. That was good because he refuses to post any videos of himself. Take us through a day or two of when you get there, what you're doing, when you leave the facility. Just take us through a couple of days of what you're doing, who you're communicating with, and sort of your stuff. Yeah, let us know.
So, all right, so it'll be similar to the Ramble, but it's going to be just more details on what I actually do. So I'll take you through today. Today I woke up pretty early in the 6 o'clock range and worked on a proposal because we are working on, I wouldn't say contract negotiations as much as contract proposals because it's April and apparently that's when you do pro stuff. I'm typically an August, September guy for amateurs, but in the pro world, it's pretty active right now. So 6 a.m. working on a couple different proposals, some amateur, some pro. Obviously can't say who those are right now, but I will let you know as soon as I can. Tell you, I'll be transparent, but just they're proposals at the moment.
Well, we know you're talking to 21. We do know that. So that you're one of the teams talking to 21.
I can tell you right now, I'm not, but there's been communications there. He's been here training.
Let me ask you this. Are you staying Yamaha? Is the contract done? Okay. So you will be on Yamaha next year.
I don't see any real changes there. Maybe some additions to the team, but I don't see any changes with anything. It's gone well. I think obviously with Cody Schock, Max Volan winning their heat races too, that really does, cement some relationships that have been around forever. So
great work, Max. Super awesome. Yeah, super awesome, Max. You won your heat race. Great work.
It was great. It was my first heat race as general manager.
6 a.m. wake up. Proposal time.
Email. Just working on proposals. Then breakfast at the Nun RV. This family, the Nuns. Kid named Jack that's here is from Australia. He's
Carl?
my son's best friend.
Okay.
No. Jack Nunn.
Do you remember Carl Nunn?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
My son doesn't stay with me. He stays with them here because he doesn't want to stay with Dad. So he stays with his friend on site. Had some breakfast there, then went over and had some sit-downs with some current team members about their future. Actually, 2 sit-downs back-to-back. Then had a team meeting, which they do every single Wednesday, which is cool. Everyone from the mechanics. The riders aren't really in there. Cody Schock always ends up in there because he's just kind of like, he's always around. He's always around. I'll get to him in a second. But everyone's in a circle in the shop, and they just go through each individual, what everyone's doing, what the schedule is for the weekend. They go over travel. This is really organized. They go through each person and they share something, maybe a concern, something that's bad, something that's good, and it's super organized. And then let's see, where does it go from there? We had a discussion today about a kid named Reed Taylor. Do you know who that is? You probably don't. That's an Australian kid who was going to ride for the team this year but had an injury, and he's now back on the bike. So there's discussions from when he's going to get back from Australia.
Is this Brandon Haas, yourself, Bonacci? What is this? Okay.
Yeah. Greg, the team manager, Ty, suspension, Cam, motor guy, all the mechanics. Yep. It's everybody. And then, of course, Cody Schock. Cody's.
Yep. Oh, this is still the circle group. Got it. Okay.
This is the circle meeting. And then from there, it's the track. Everyone gets ready at 10 o'clock to be on the track, which I'm part of that. I help Brandon with the coaching on Supercross right now. It was just him and Ben. Ben's got responsibilities on the motocross. It's Ben Graves. He's the head coach out there. He's got responsibilities on the motocross side too, so he's always moving around. But now I'm Supercross centric. So me and Brandon ran the Supercross program today. We did some weird different stuff. We did more race simulation, battles, defense, offense. We did a bunch of these different drills. The guys were loving it. Got a little physical a couple times. There were a couple tip overs. And then I did see Phil. Actually, no, I didn't see Phil. I talked to Phil. I'll get to that. But once Supercross was done, I went back and had some lunch, then got back on my computer, updated some proposals for some offers that are going to be going out here pretty soon because we have some aggressive moves that we're looking at. Then we had some on the phone, speakerphone conversations with some sponsors that are, again, current partners that are talking about the future and just some moves we're going to make with them. Then that went into then I went back into the race shop just to check on everybody and find out what was going on good and bad for tomorrow because we're back at Supercross again tomorrow. So just going around, that's when Phil comes into the equation. Phil calls in to talk to Cam, the guy who does all the engines.
His old mechanic.
And I answered the phone and immediately gave him shit for being the most pathetic effort I saw to anybody yesterday on the circle track. Corner track. We had a corner track day yesterday for everybody, 27 riders.
Yep.
It was the most pathetic effort I've ever seen out of anybody on property. Can't even believe you. I mean, might as well not have rode. I don't know what he was doing. And then I told him that, and then he went off on a tangent about how everyone there sucks, and he's the only one that can race when the gate drops, and all these idiots out there trying their ass off on a stupid day in the muddy corners and blah blah. So he went Phil on me.
Yep. Congratulations.
And then I actually jammed back over here to the house, Mike Bonacci's house, and I had a call with Lindsay Sheltema of the USMCA because I'm a board member on the USMCA, and we talked about some things that we're doing there on the coaching in the coaching world that I'm connected to, obviously, because I'm coaching and I'm on the board. And then I immediately got on here with you, and then when I'm done, I will actually be working on some programs that we have launching in the fall. We're going to be doing an intro to Supercross program to help kids that have never done Supercross, like maybe you're a year or two out on racing futures. We're going to be developing a brand new program for that. We're also working on some camp ideas for vet camps, beginner camps, and mini camps. And I'm putting these proposals all together on how we're going to do it and execute it. And then the big one is a proposal that Brandon doesn't even know yet that I'll be giving to him tomorrow, which is a summer Supercross program that I want to launch because Australian Supercross starts in October. So does World Supercross. And it's like a mad dash for everyone to get ready, but I actually want to start it in the summer so we can get some international riders who are not racing motocross to start coming here early and getting their early foundational Supercross stuff in before they race in October. So a little bit of everything. Like I said, facility-wise, a bunch of facility and training stuff, a bunch of contract stuff, and then hands-on on the coaching, and then I fit in a argument with my son. We did get into it today, had a little bit of a blowout. I did manage to fit that into the schedule. And
good job. Congrats on that.
Cost
Yeah.
me about 30 minutes of my day, and I'm pretty frustrated. And when I get done with what I'm going to do next, we are going to pizza tonight, and we'll work that out.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
There's the ramble with details.
Yeah, no, I like it. I really think maybe you should make this a weekly thing. I'm going to give you a assignment for next show. Okay. Phil, everybody owes Phil. He's, he does this and that, and he brings all the attention, and everybody owes Phil, and it's never enough. I want you to talk to Brandon Haas, the owner there. Get behind the negotiations of Phil renting a stall, a garage there, because I guarantee you those went fucking south with Phil and Brandon, who are longtime friends. And at some point, I guarantee you Phil probably stomped off when Brandon said, yeah, here's the price or whatever. Or Phil was angry about the price, or it was not an out-the-door price or whatever. So ask Brandon if you can on negotiations for Phil paying to ride there.
No problem at all. I mean, that falls under my umbrella of responsibilities. I'll make sure he's not getting a deal because that's not fair, especially, again, when you have that kind of effort, that's bad influence on all the kids there. And if you're influencing poorly, you shouldn't be getting a deal on your stall. And I just want to point out, too, that Justin Brayton's stall is twice the size of Phil's. Yeah,
that's awesome. And then I guarantee you Phil was like, you should pay me, Brandon, because of the attention I bring to your facility. At some point, that was probably mentioned. So that's how Phil rolls.
I'll take it from here. And again, after the way he talked to me on the phone today, he made a bad move. Well, the negotiations, they'll go south from here after the way he acted today.
All right, let's wrap up this Blair Matthes project, Troy Lee Designs Race Tech, with the fantasy results. And I know I didn't know those three little bastard kids on Star to rank them, but I did know the Foxborough Futures Supercross results because the fraud thought he would trip me up and threw me Landon Gordon in the fantasy game that we do, Blair. And look, it didn't look good because he was leading, and then he crashed, and then I thought it was over. But our guy Landon, the mud specialist he is, his mother was a mudder, his father was a mudder. He fought back all the way up to second. I picked him for first, but he got second, so I was one off. And Daniel, you picked the Russian Club MX rider who is owed one of these victories, let's be honest. But Mud is not his friend either, and he ended up getting 19th. So plus one for me, plus 18 for you, Daniel.
Well, and here's backfire on me because my kid was first in qualifying. He was number one to the gate, P1, and I'm sitting here before the night show just going, I am going to get all my points back. And we had an issue, and we got 19th. So it backfired so bad, Kellen. I'll still pay you for our deal, but that backfired pretty bad. Yep.
Now I haven't. Obviously, it was a massive mutter. So these results, we weren't that good. Well, Daniel, you weren't bad, but Shane McElrath, Kellen asked me to pick him. I said 14th. He got second, so that was 12 off. Nate Thrasher, I said 4th. He got 19th. So I was 15 off on Nate Thrasher. But I mean, again, like look at those conditions. Daniel, you had Dylan Ferrandis. You were 2 off. You said 8th. He got 10th. And Seth Hamaker, you said 2nd. He got 9th. So you made up 1 point after all of that. and I'm up on you by 23 with 5 races
I
to
can't
go.
believe nothing happened in the standings.
Yeah.
That could have been the biggest swing either way, but nothing really happened. That's insane.
Nope, exactly. Because I know amateurs, and I know Landon Gordon, and he's got the heart of a lion, and I knew he would do that because he's my guy.
He comes from a family of mutters. Family of mutters.
All right, Kellen, let's go. Here we go. Philadelphia Showdown time, and give us some fantasy picks here.
Yes, I'm going to make you guys pick one person in each class, West and East. But I'm going to start with a bit of a curveball. I don't think we've ever actually done this yet. I'm going to make you guys pick the same person in 450s because he's making his debut this weekend. I'll lead off with you, Steve. Where does Dean Wilson finish this weekend?
Yeah, that's a good selection. Dean will be 14.
14th. And DB for you, Dino?
I'm riding with the weather. I'm going weather. I'm going 9.
All right, 9th. See where Dino ends up. All right, back to you, Steve. I'm going to give you 2 star guys from here. Cole Davies won last time out in Seattle. Where does he finish this weekend in Philly?
3rd.
And then DB's high on this gentleman. I'm not sure if you feel the same, but Daxton Bennick got 5th last weekend. Does he do it again this weekend?
5.
Well, I was talking to Steve.
Oh, that's a Steve one.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Daniel also.
No, I'm talking to you, Steve.
Oh.
I thought we were, my bad.
Showdown, Dax Bennick, 9.
9th. Okay, fair enough. All right, and then I'm giving DB all Honda picks from here. How about Joe Shimoda in the mud?
4.
4th, and then last week's big winner, Chance Hymas.
Oh, do I take the bait again? I'll go. Damn it! Can I say 4?
They both get 4.
I pick them both for 4. I'll go 6.
All right.
Daniel's picks were so much easier than mine, but it's okay.
He's 23 back, sir.
I've
I do agree.
overcome
like
the fraud week in and week out, trying to upset me, trying to throw me up, and he can't do it, and he's clearly getting frustrated, and that's fine.
I blew it with my Dean Wilson. I could have went Price is Right and just gone 13, so I would have had anything better than that would have had you, but I'll stick with the 9 because I believe in it. But, man, I could have Price is Right you.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I technically gave both of you guys the last 1st and 5th place finishers on each coast. So that's where this number comes from.
Whatever, man. Don't use your facts to come into this argument.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, well, listen, thank you to Troy Lee Designs, Race Tech, Seat Concept, Zools, Firepower, Maxxis, Decal Works, Alpine Stars, ASV Levers. Use the codes to save. Thanks for the support. We're going to add up our numbers from the first 3 months. I should have them maybe later today or tomorrow. I'll send them to you two gentlemen as well. And really appreciate the people watching on YouTube and listening on the podcast and all of that. And, yeah, man, good times. Daniel, make sure you ask that Brandon Haas question about Phil renting the garage. And also, we're going to need another rundown of your day because that was actually really good. And next week, we will rank Dirt Bike Depot riders 1 to 3. Are there 3? How many guys are at Dirt Bike Depot? I don't know.
I think there's 4 or 5.
I'll go Gage Linville 1. Gage Linville 1.
Yeah, how about ranked podium interviews? Rod Bell 1.
Yeah. Awesome. Good times. Thanks to Kellen Brower for producing this thing. And DB, as always, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys all next week.